Hulk is being banished from his city for being a monster. He collapses into a country that needs a savior and struggles to save them. Will he survive? Hello, today, Anytime will show you the recap of an anime titled Hulk Planet. Spoiler alert. Watch out and take care. At the beginning of the movie, Hulk is locked in a cage inside a plane. He's the only one in the cell. He hears a voice note from his colleagues telling him that whenever he's angry, he becomes a shadow of himself and becomes a threat to himself and the world. For that reason, they are taking him to a lonely planet, a planet as green as him, where he's the only occupant and he can be as free as he is, just as he has ever wanted. However, Hulk struggles in the cage. He breaks out of the cell and struggles to leave the plane. On the other hand, in a lonely village on another planet named Sakaar, a man does some sacrifices and prays to their god that their savior, Sakaarson, be sent to the world to save their world. At that moment, Hulk penetrates the plane he's on, thereby causing the plane to crash. The sky opens and he comes down from the sky, falls off, and green water comes after him. It looks as though Hulk is the answer to the man's prayer. While Hulk tries to gain his composure back, some native villagers who see him when he falls come to attack him. They come in en masse, but he hits them all. As he hits them, they keep coming. He continues fighting them until another man who works for the king in that kingdom, called the Red King, comes with a weapon. He shoots this weapon at Hulk and it incapacitates him. The villagers tell the warrior of the first keeper rule, which is that the first person to get to a captive takes it as a captive. But the warrior commands them to stand down. The warrior asks Hulk if he now understands him and also commands Hulk to stand down. Hulk refuses. He keeps fighting until the warrior shoots him over and over till he collapses. In a traveling prison, Meek, a captive, tries to tease Korg, a wooden Cronin, and tells Korg to save them while they escape. When Meek notices that Hulk is now awake, he goes to Hulk and tells Hulk to keep them. Hulk wakes and asks them where he is. Lavin, a soldier who has once worked for the Red King. Eventually, Lavin tells him there's no way he can leave that cage as they are in an Imperial transport and they're going to the Colosseum, where they will be tasked to fight with another team to survive. Hulk attempts to break his shackles, but Lavin informs him it's unbreakable. The only way they can survive is to come together and fight. He says that since Korg and Hulk are the strongest, they will stay in front of the team and fight first while he, Android, Hiroim, and Meek will go next and Elo with the native villagers. The villagers refuse to work with Lavin because they claim he once worked for the Red King. They eventually arrive at the battlefield. They are introduced to the crowd as a team, the gladiators, and their opponent is Cronins. As the Cronins come out of their transport, they meet their opponents, Korg's friends, his former teammates, Margus and his other friends. He refuses to fight them and goes to embrace them, but Margus hits him. He falls and refuses to fight his friends. He falls, and the team gets stranded. Hulk also refuses to fight. He goes to the gate with Meek and tries to break the wall. The others fight as much as possible, but are too weak to withhold the Cronins. Lavin goes to Korg. He begs him to please fight, and he tells him the Cronins he's looking for are no longer his friends and brothers, as they have been mentally wired to fight. As Lavin talks, Margus stabs him and he dies. Meek also tells Hulk there's no way they can get out, and if he keeps hitting the wall, the Red Man will get him. He figures the Red King is the head of the people and decides he will fight the Red King. Korg gets angry. He realizes his brothers aren't sane, and he goes to fight Margus and injures him. They win the first fight, and the king is impressed. He wonders why Hulk didn't fight. They open up another enemy, Cavaranthus Mazorus, the Great Devil Corner. This demon holds his teammates in his hands, but Hulk jumps at the monster and hits him. He defeats the beast on the first hit. The king is amazed, and as he watches in awe, Hulk goes to attack him. His guard, Kyra, pushes Hulk back immediately and asks the king if he should kill Hulk. The king replies otherwise, and he wears his wares to fight. During the fight, Hulk cuts the king in his face, and Kyra comes to fight. Instead of killing Hulk, the king decides that they should release Hulk, so the people will think he's a good one. The gladiators return to their prison, lay Lavin to rest, and decide to be a team. They talk about each other's history, and Hiroim tells them he's a savior. He and the members of his temple are expecting their Sakaarson. However, When the king came to the throne, his people believed he was the Sakaarson, and they decided to work with him, but he refused to join them. He leaves them, and he gets arrested. Korg talks about himself. He tells them he and the other Cronons are people who defeat everyone. They go to all planets to fight and win. One day, as they travel, they come across a planet that's just like grass, and they come down to take over the planet, and suddenly, someone breaks their plane and comes to attack them. He crushes them all, and they eventually use their last card, a military weapon. However, as they defeat the first alien, they find out there are more. They return to their plane, but they are unable to outrun the monster. Their plane crashes, and they find themselves in Sakaar. They talk about the rumors that Hulk is the Sakaarson, but Hiroim says Hulk can't be the Sakaarson, as Hulk is only interested in saving himself. Elo tells her story, the head of the resistance. After the story, they try to talk to Hulk, who refuses to help them. They tell him the people think he's their leader, but he tells them he isn't anyone's savior. They tell him that even if he doesn't want to fight for others, he should fight for himself, so he will earn his freedom after the third fight. They go for the second fight, and Hulk fights. He defeats the second demon, which the Red King thinks will kill him. Kyra sees the Hulk is building the people's hope about being the Sakaarson. Also, after the fight, Meek gives Hulk a chain which he calls the Eyes of the Eyebreakers. That evening, Kyra comes to Hulk. He tells Hulk the Red King is the savior, and if he doesn't believe, it's because he hasn't experienced the Red King. She tells Hulk that when the spikes attack their city, everyone dies, including her parents. She's the only one not infected, and the Red Prince saved her. She tells him the Resistance is coming to rescue Elo that night, and if he agrees to follow the Resistance, she will allow him to escape, but he refuses. That evening, just as planned, the Resistance come for Elo. Hulk warns her not to go, but she leaves with her people, and she gets captured. The following day, the remaining team members go for their last fight. They are to fight against Battle Beta Ray Bill, the alien Korg met. During the fight, Hiroim notices that plants grow wherever Hulk's green blood splashes, and he remembers the prophecy about the Sakaarson. Eventually, Hulk throws a sword at the alien that breaks his bind. He defeats the alien. They ask the king for their promotion, but the king says they must show loyalty by killing Elo. They refuse to kill her, and the king attempts to kill them. The alien controls the electricity, and he loses everyone's binds. Before leaving, Hulk strangles the king and warns him not to come for him. His team tells him to follow them to Ansara, where the governor supports the resistance, but he refuses and goes on his own. Unknown to the team, the governor of Ansara, Churik, works for the king. Also, the king asks Kyra to get Hulk and kill Hulk. Some of Mayer's family tell him he's at risk, and he overhears the king telling Churik to kill them. He mindlessly attacks Churik, who brings out a sword and attacks him. On the other hand, Kyra finds Hulk. She discovers he's without a weapon and attempts to fight him without a weapon too. Meanwhile, Meyer reports to the others that they have been betrayed. He tells them that the king saw him, and they assume the king will find another means to defeat them. While Kyra fights with Hulk, she sees a ship of spikes going to the city. She asks Hulk to join her in saving the city, but he tells her he doesn't have friends and doesn't want to save anyone, so she leaves him and goes to the city. She saves a girl and runs with her, only for the king to tell her he was the one who sent the spikes, and he was also the one who sent them the day her parents died. The king sends explosives to the city, but Hulk arrives and saves everyone. After the explosion, the king asks Kyra if Hulk is dead. She replies affirmatively, and he asks her to bring him to the city. She takes his dead body to the town and the other team members. As the king attempts to show Hulk's dead body out, Hulk stands up and attacks him. He subdues the king, but he says he won't kill him. He calls Kyra to kill the king, so Kyra brings a spike she has captured and puts it in the king's body. Since the king is infected, his army kills him. At the movie's end, Hulk goes to greet the people as their savior. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post the next recap. See you next time.